Hello everyone, it's Dave from Chewy's Backyard Farm. It's Sunday, June 28th, and I just wanted to take a moment and actually give you a farm tour, a virtual video farm tour, just to show you what we got going on here, what we're growing, how we grow it, and what things look like. Could be a little bit messy with the weeds and everything, but bear with me. Just like to show what we're growing. I'm going to start out here at our hoop house, which is where we have our hydroponics. What we grow in here is we grow lettuce, some different varieties of oak leaf, different varieties of butter leaf, and kale, and some other types of romaine lettuce. It's a Summercrisp lettuce. This is a tote that's actually will be harvested this week with some red butterhead and some oak leaf. This is a tote that we just transplanted, and if you can look in it and see, there's actually some Swiss chard and some kale that are starting. Key with this one is that where I have tadpoles growing in it, and I don't know if you can see one right there. I've got lots of tadpoles. That's how clean my water is and how nutrient rich the water is. But these guys are amazing. They clean up the algae on the sides, which is great. Over here I got my monster kale growing along with some tomatoes. I'm trying to see if they work. Somewhere in here is a mama frog, but she'll probably blend into the point where you can't see her. But that's not a big deal. I've got the kale that's growing so much it's pushing the cups and everything out of my my raft. But that's good. Over here, of course, is some more butterhead, red butterhead that we're going to be harvesting this week, and green that we're harvesting this week. And then over here on this side, we've started some more Summercrisp, some more kale. Summercrisp is a big hit. And again, there's some oak leaf, some more red butter leaf, kale, some tomatoes, and then we've got some more kale and some romaine. Our hydroponics is a deep water culture operation with air stones and nutrients in the water. And so far, we started this in March. Into February, first part of March, we started it, and we have produced over roughly, even with the shutdown and the virus, and even with us having to donate a bunch of heads, we've produced about 500 and something heads of lettuce since the beginning of putting this up. So we're rocking and rolling. We're going to throw a shade cloth over it here in the summer and maybe cool it down a little bit, but it doesn't seem to bother the lettuce. Out here in the front is all my hot peppers. I have habaneros, I have some Thai hot peppers, and these plants are just loaded up. They're loaded up. They're loaded, and I'm just waiting for them to turn red so that they look red, but they are all hot. All in here is hot. I don't eat hot peppers, but people wanted hot peppers, so we started growing. They're growing in boxes because I think they grow a little bit better in boxes. Here's our purple. We have a purple hot pepper that's like 35,000 on the Schofield scale, or Schofield, or whatever the hot scale. If you look at them, they look like jelly beans, but they are hot. At least they're supposed to be hot. Now, I'm not brave enough to try them, but just be warned, I will bring them to markets, and if you're brave enough, eat them. Try them, but I'm not brave enough. Over here is our beds of our different herbs. We got thyme, sage, some parsley. We have basil that's going crazy. We've got some peppermint. I think we got some oregano growing there, but I can't remember which one that one is. Not a big deal. I've got catnip that the bees like. And then I got a tomato that started. There was a seed in the catnip, and I wasn't going to throw it away, so I started growing it. I don't know how the tomatoes are going to taste, but not a big deal. I have cilantro that has now turned to coriander, and so we'll see what that turns out. This is a carrot bed that's growing. I got carrots growing. They're slow. I hope to have some before too long. They're getting good and bushy tops, but I'm waiting to see what the bottoms are like. We grew some wasabi. Wasabi didn't really, it bolted on me, but we're going to grow it next year because we can grow it here. This was an experiment. We let it go too long. Not a big deal. And then again, here's the coriander. Walking over here, this is my field with Swiss chard and collard greens, cucumbers, and okra. Now I'm pulling up the Swiss chard and I'm pulling up the collard greens because they're done. And I'm probably going to put more beans in here, or peas. Purple hull peas is probably what I'm gonna put a third planting of it in here. As soon as this ground dries out, I'm gonna get that in the ground. Here's 2 types of okra, Carmine Splendor and Jambalaya. This is one's on purple and one's green. I've transplanted it. It works well transplanted. It works well under plastic. And I'm actually producing and bringing okra to the market, and it's the end of June, way ahead of everybody else. But just tooting my own horn. Not peppers, but cucumbers. There's a row and a half of picklers and a row and a half of, there's a row of marketer slicing pickles, and then about a half a row of the white Itachis. Now the white Itachi cucumbers, the plants are really odd. They are real susceptible to the cucumber mosaic virus, so I have to really manage these when I'm picking them. We use rubber gloves to pick the individual fruits, and we only pick one plant at a time in one bucket. So we're trying not to spread the mosaic virus, which comes along with cucumbers no matter what. They're hard it's just in the ground, is from what I understand, and we can't spray for it with anything organic or non-organic. It's just part of cucumber life. So we deal with it. So what we do is we have successfully planted another row of cucumbers over there to make up for the fall and the end of the season, when we'll have more and we'll have a demand. And just so you can see, just take a look at the cucumber. That's a nice slicer there. Oh yeah, nice slicer. And then walking on down here, let's see if we can take a look at some white ones, see what they look like. Oh yeah, right here's a beautiful white cucumber, if you could see it. That is white, and that is ripe, and that is the way it's supposed to be. Beautiful. And there's a little one forming right there. So that is that. Now behind me is the area I tilled up today. This is going to be purple hull peas. There's 5 rows of it. I got to get some drip tape in here and get this watered today. Even though I'm having a lot of rain, I still want to water this rows, get this germination going. A row here is this is summer squash, Zephyrs, 8 balls, 1 balls, patty pans, and some zucchini. They're mixed in with this row, and then this row here. These 2 rows right there. And then this 3rd row is my first planting of our fall squash, our winter squash, spaghetti squash, butternut squash. I started this one early so that way I could get the squash to the market early. And then I had 2 rows of lima beans. Lima beans were an ultimate failure, big time fail, no big deal. What happened now is I got volunteer choy living in there. I might cut that. I might just pull up the drip tape and till it. I hadn't made a decision, but experiment. Lima beans don't like to grow here. Maybe the soil type. And then 3 rows of rattlesnake beans, 2 rows of provider beans. I have a spare row of black plastic because I'm getting ready for another round of summer squash for the late summer, for late August, September, October time frame, bringing squash to the market. And then that edge that I tilled, I like to till my edges because I want to keep the weeds from growing in, but I put in 2 rows of rattlesnake beans there, so I can have more beans coming in. And then on around, we're going around the back side of the plot. We've got some more zucchini here, some more choy, and then of course the bottom rows of collard greens, Swiss chard and collard greens, and then okra. This is the back side of them. Moving on around here, this is my first row of purple Islander bell peppers. So far we've produced about 40 pounds of these, 50 pounds. We'll keep producing these. Not only are they, if you take a look walking through here, we've got some Corinthos, which are a yellow and red, or a yellow and orange banana pepper. Train of thought slowed down there for a minute. banana pepper, and then I've got banana peppers in there, which are goddesses. They're great pickled. They're great just eaten. And then there's one of the purple peppers that I missed staking. But you can tell he's doing good. She's doing good. Plant's doing good. Walk on down through here, you see them. They're loaded up with the peppers. But this is my first planting. So my first planting will produce up to a certain point, and then it'll start dying off, which you can see some are starting to do that. But I know that, so what I do is I went ahead and planted a second successive, so I can keep bringing these to the market all into almost November. We did last year. We brought them all up to the market to about November, and the longer they stay on the plants, they're the oranger and marooner they get, and the sweeter they get. But they're sweet just like this, and they're a big hit. That's just a little one. He'll be ready probably by the end of the week, but they're a hit. People love them. I love growing them. I love eating them. And on around here's a row of choy that I've got to pull up with the lifter, with the plastic lift, the mulch lifter, and clean this up and put in some more purple whole peas and some beans. Again, here is crooked neck squash for my middle of the season, which is starting to come in. Again, I'm embarrassed about the weeds, but things have been so wet I can't get in here with the tiller and bust this up and get these weeds down. But no fear, I'm gonna get that done. Again, these are gold mine yellow zucchinis that I'm growing, and on down through there some more winter fall squash. More gold mine yellow zucchinis in this row. More winter squash, and then 1, 2, 3.5 rows of purple whole peas, which will be the early purple whole peas. I got 4 rows of, everywhere there's red, if you see red mulch, those are tomatoes. There's 4 rows of tomatoes. There's 725 tomato plants. The reason I use red is because studies show that red actually builds more yield or produces more yield. So I'm giving it a shot. They're loaded up. They're just not turned yet. So giving it time. I got a late start. I didn't have the hoop house to get the tomatoes started early, so I got a late start. But what that means is I'll have tomatoes later in the year, while everybody that has early tomatoes will all be gone. So just looking for the future. Anyway, looking for the fall where people start to look for tomatoes. I'll have them. I have another row of Islander bell peppers, which will come on later on, and then again I'll have more purple peppers towards the end. I have more okra that I'm growing down there. This is actually the Clemson spineless okra, so I will have okra throughout the year. There's more squash, more zucchini, and there's 2 blank rows waiting for my late season squash that I'll put in, which will be zephyrs, gold mines, yellow crooked neck, everything for the late part of the year. And then two rows of cantaloupes and watermelons. Yes, we grow watermelons here. We grew almost about 300 pounds of watermelons last year, which if you take that in terms of numbers, it's not a whole lot, but they were big when they're averaging. Well, I had one that was 32 pounds. So when I have a big watermelon, I mean, that takes up the weight. But we did produce watermelons, produced orange watermelons. I don't know if this year we're going to have orange watermelons. The germination didn't do real well, but we will definitely have cantaloupes, and we'll definitely have red watermelons. Over there's my bees, which I purchased just for pollination, but I'm getting a benefit. I opened it up yesterday, and it was so full of honey I could barely pick up one of the supers. So I'm going to have to start doing research to figure out how to harvest my honey. So I'll have honey harvested. Probably just going to give that to my CSA rather than selling it. But if somebody wants honey, I could figure out how to get you some. But the bees were just for pollination. Finally, one last bed over there is where I've got eggplants and some more hot Mad Hatter bell peppers. I've got some Helios. No, I didn't. The Helios didn't make it. So it's Mad Hatters. They're habaneros. They're some eggplants over there too. So who knows? I might have spicy eggplants. But anyway, that's, this is what the farm is. This is what we produce. This is how we do it. We try to give you good, clean produce, homegrown garden produce. that's grown on a small scale. Last year, in just a little bit we didn't even have that whole field over there working on to the east of me, that field over there. We didn't have the hoop house. But last year in this little plot here, we produced about 2,900 pounds of produce. This year we're probably set to double it, especially with the lettuce and the hydroponics. So come out and see us. We're at Dallas Farmers Market and at the Ridge Ferry Park in Rome. Dallas is closed this Friday or this Saturday, 4th of July, but we will be at Rome. So if you're looking for, white cucumbers or purple peppers, or got orange tomatoes now. I got some orange cherry tomatoes, which were great. I just picked a bunch of those, and they were awesome. So if you're looking for that different and unique but still good produce, come and see me. Look us up on our webpage. Just give us a holler. We'll try to take care of your needs for produce as best we can. And I want to thank y'all for watching. And I'm out. Look forward to videotaping in the future, but I appreciate it. Thanks.